League A, Group 3. It's obvious, guys. It's quite obvious where Croatia problems lie. Defense. It's in the defense. Come on. To concede 4 goals in your first 2 matches of the Nations League it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to say the least, and it just tells you exactly where Croatia's problems lie. It's in their defense. That's where they need to work on. They have loads of talent up top and in the middle, but at the back, their stock is very, very, very thin. Very thin. The first match against Portugal, they lost 4 goals to 1. On the road, note guys, on the road, Croatia have now lost 9 of their last 10 on the road, which is simply ridiculous. They don't know how to play on the road. Imagine they even lost to Hungary on the road. So, look, they need to get their road form together. They need to get their defense together, and they need to basically do it fast enough before the 2022 World Cup comes, or else Croatia are going to be in a lot of trouble. They should qualify for the World Cup. They should. But they will struggle against teams of better quality, like they have done in the first 2 matches of the new edition of the UEFA Nations League, losing 4-1 to Portugal, and now 4-2 to France, again, like they did in the 2018 World Cup final. But the Croatian team looked a bit better today. They looked a bit more spirited today, but in the end, just wasn't good enough. Their defense just wasn't good enough. It's simply put. How else am I supposed to put this? Simply put. Croatia made 5 changes against a largely rotated France team as well. Didier Deschamps did rotate his squad. And on paper, when you look at that French team, they weren't the most powerful. Even though they had a lot of quality in the team, they weren't the most powerful team. And it showed from the start when Croatia picked up that early goal through a very, very, a weird sauce in Dejan Lovren. That was a good goal, though. Don't get me wrong, that was a worldie. To control, bring it down, swing, and beat Lloris, that was a really, really good goal. I said swing because he probably just swung at it with his left foot, because he is not a left footer. He's definitely not a left-footed player. And Croatia had the lead, and I'm like, okay, things are taking a turn for the better here. Things are taking a turn for the better. And through a very, very composed first half, like most of the first half, they were controlling the game very well. France didn't have a lot of chances to score. I didn't even realize N'Golo Kante was playing until I was like, whoa, did they make a substitution? Because I'm like, I didn't even see Kante in. Kante wasn't even involved in a game like that. And then bam, France worked their way into the game and scored 2 goals before the halftime break through Antoine Griezmann and then through Anthony Martial, which was later given a Livakovic own goal. And it was all because of defensive lapses by Croatia. They need to get their act together. And it seems like the stock is very thin. 2 changes today. Well, matter of fact, 3 changes in defense. Chaleta Sarr started ahead of Vida. And then they had Melnak at left back ahead of Borna Barisic. And then Uremovic, I think his name. If I'm saying it. Filip Uremovic, I think, yeah. He started at right back, and it's clear that Croatia are experimenting in the fullback position. He started it ahead of Tini Edvai, who he wasn't good in the first game against Portugal. Neither was Borna Barisic. Croatia need a proper right back. They do have Šime Vesaliko, but he's always injured. But the left back has been a problem for some time. The center back, it's still not very much assured, because you see Lovren making 2 big errors there for those goals. Not, the third goal, Upamecano goal in the second half there, he didn't mark him properly, left him for an open header, basically a free header, and that Martial later deemed an own goal. He failed to gather the ball. So, oh man, Defensive problems, defensive problems. But Croatia tried. They tried. Zlatko Dalic tried before Croatia scored. Before France scored a third goal, Croatia did able to equalize to make it 2-2. And I was like, okay, things are looking good. Things are looking good. They could actually maybe win the game or even pick up a draw. But lapses in concentration. That was a really good goal, though. I have to mention that Josip Brekalo goal, he came on at halftime for Rebic, who did not really look too good in the game. He looked like he lacked the commitment, or he looked tired. Brekalo came on, looked a bit more spirited, and the Wolfsburg man set up exquisitely by, oh my God, Kovacic. What a pass! And just before that, I was saying to myself, Kovacic is having a nothing game right now. He's having a nothing game. But that pass, I was like, oh my God. It seems like he's hearing me. He's like, it's like we're communicating telepathically. And he just responded with that brilliant pass. And Brekalo, he got through a couple of defenders, got a shot off, and he scored 2-2. And I was like, okay. But as I said, Croatia lost concentration, give up a corner, which maybe could have been avoided. And then Upamecano, who wasn't really having a great game, to be honest. He had a great game in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. And then the following match against PSG, he wasn't that good. And then the first match against Sweden, I did not watch that game, but he did start. He did make his international debut. But this game, he was very so-so. He was very so-so. But he redeemed himself with that headed goal, scored his first international goal for France. And then Giroud came on, bam, there was a penalty shout, the ref give it. And that's very unfair to Croatia, in my opinion. I'm glad I remember that, because Croatia had a penalty shout for handball. The ref was right there, he saw it, he didn't give it, but then he gave the penalty on, I think that was Brozovic, for the handball, and that was not a handball. That was a similar situation to the shout up at the opposite end there on the French player. So it was some poor refereeing decisions made there. Seriously, very, very poor refereeing decisions, and it was a poor decision by UEFA not to use VAR in the preliminary stages, saying that they are going to use it in the final. If you're not going to use it in the preliminary stages, don't use it in the final. Seriously. Use it for the whole tournament, because in cases like this, it could determine whether teams move on to the final, stay in the League A, or get relegated. You know what I'm saying? So that was an unfair call. Giroud stepped up and he scored. Of course, he's going to score. He's very clinical. No fault there from Livakovic, who had an okay, day in goal, but you can't fault him. His defense let him down once again. 8 goals given up by Croatia. 8 goals. 8 goals, which is pretty poor, if you ask me. They have to work on their defense. You know what I'm saying? They need a good crop of players to come through the youth ranks, and they need to get somebody fast. I wasn't so impressed with Dario Melniak, to be honest. I wasn't so impressed with him. Croatia needs somebody fast at left back. You look at the really good left backs, how they're very, light on their feet, they're fast, and they just run up and down the flanks. Croatia do not have that. At right back, Uremovic, he's not even a natural right back. So right back, left back, Croatia's problems. Brozovic looked good today. Kramaric, he did his thing up top. Kovacic in the middle, Vlasic, all these guys had solid games. Rebic, I think, was poor. Perisic, he looked tired. He looked tired. He had a long season, came off with an injury there. And Brekalo came off the bench. He scored, so he was brilliant. He was one of the bright spots for Croatia. Domagoj Vida also looked good, and Pasalic was the other substitute. He didn't really do much in the game, but Croatia, you know what you need to work on? You need to work on your defense. France, on the other hand, though, let me talk about France a little there, because I've been talking about Croatia a lot. France, man, oh my God, Oh my God, the golden generation. They are the World Cup champions. And look, they have talent for days. They have about 3 different squads. They have about, I'm a, France have about 75 players that they can choose from. They don't have the problems that Croatia has right about now. They have like 4 to 5 options in right back and left back, center back, in goal, in the midfield, up top. They just have a wealth of freaking talent to choose from, and they could switch up their team every game and still win. It's that crazy. It's that crazy, man. I'm telling you. You know, I was very, very impressed with the little cameo there by Eduardo Camavinga, 17-year-old, making his international debut for France there. Youngest player since 1932 to represent France, and the man was impressive. Oh my God, I was like, this is the reason why he's being linked to Real Madrid. This guy is freaking good. This guy is really, really good. Ben Yedder had an okay game. Martial had a frustrating match. He could have scored, but, you know, he had a few shots saved, a few shots blocked. His best chance was eventually deemed an own goal. So it was a frustrating day for him. Antoine Griezmann was Griezmann. You know, lately I haven't been so impressed with him. And Zonzi, solid in the middle. El Golo Kante had an okay game, in my opinion. You had Ferland Mendy. You had Sissoko playing fullback. You had Longley, Hernandez, and who else was back there? Upamecano as the center backs. These guys were all solid for most part. For most part. They didn't have a lot to do, but they were mostly solid for most of the game. Lloris in goal, tested, you know, but not enough times. Good shot by Vlasic there at the end there to hit the post. It could have been a totally different game if Croatia's defense came to the party, but they failed to do so and conceded 4 goals in consecutive away games. It's going to be a different story when the matches go to Croatia, though. It's going to be a much different story. It's going to be a different story when you have guys like Rakitic and Modric come back into the team, and you'll see a far different Croatia team. You'll see a more solid Croatia team. But these guys are not going to be around forever. They're not going to be around forever. You know what I'm saying? Croatia needs these guys to commit 150% when they're on the field. I see some guys like they're not even like it's like the occasion is a bit too much for some people. You know what I'm saying? You know, they need to up their game big time. They need to up their game. Definitely. The next game should be against Sweden. I didn't check to see if it's on the road or whatever, but the next game should be against Sweden, and they should fare a lot better. we think so, but you never know what's going to happen there. Very mercurial team, this Croatian team. But the other game between Portugal and Sweden ended in a 2-0 win for Portugal, with one of the GOATs himself, Cristiano Ronaldo, scoring both the goals. That was his 100th and 101st international goal. So congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo there. That's a huge achievement, man. That's a huge achievement. And we will see a lot more of Cristiano Ronaldo. He will be at the 2022 World Cup once Portugal qualifies. So it seems like it's going to be a scrap between France and Portugal to see who wins this group. Portugal, the defending champions. And it's going to be fun to watch those two play when the UEFA Nations League comes back around next month. I think next month they're going to play. And I think that should be it for the League A Group 3 matches this international break, if I'm not mistaken. But guys, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this match and just my thoughts on whole on League A Group 3. I don't think Zlatko Dalic and Croatia are really, really worried. They have time. They know what they need to work on. And I think they're doing a lot of experimentation, to be honest. So it's not something that you have to, oh my God, and you got to go crazy about and rant on about. But they know what they need to work on, and they're trying. That's why they switched up both right backs and left backs in this game and bringing Chaleta Saw. Because they just, you know, try different options. As for France, they're good. As for Portugal, they are good. Sweden, you know, they're a fighting team, and it's going to be an interesting one. Right now, it seems like Sweden and Croatia are going to scrap it out to see who are going to stay up and who's going to go down. But guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you like it. Let me know your thoughts down below. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.